Hi friends, welcome back to my channel Only Bio. Continuing with the series of the challenging MCQs from Group A 31 to 35. In this I have selected the assertion and reasoning type of questions. The first question relates with the chapter circulation and the question is, the assertion is heparin, a glycosaminoglycan product of mast cells, is an anticoagulant blocking the conversion of prothrombin to thrombin. And the reason given is heparin is stored with histamine in mast cell granules and is found in the muscular tissues. And your options are A. Both assertion and reasons are true and are, that is, the reason is the correct explanation of the assertion. B. Both assertion and reason are true but reason is not the correct explanation of A. C. Assertion is true but reason is false. And D. Both assertion and reason are false. And the correct answer for this question is C. That is, assertion is true but the reason is false. Now let's understand this a bit better. Look on the screen please. Now here you can see something about how the blood clotting actually occurs. You can see a blood vessel that's been releasing out the blood platelets near an injured site. This I would take the pointer for you to understand it. So this is the epidermis, that is the uppermost layer of the skin, you can say, and this has been damaged at this particular point. So the underlying blood vessel here has released out the platelets near the site of injury, right? And this is how the blood clotting happens here. Okay, now what exactly it is, the injured tissues and platelets, they release the clotting factor. You might have heard about that. Is called as a prothrombin activator, your thrombokinase, along with the calcium ions. And this prothrombin activator then converts the blood protein prothrombin into thrombin. And the thrombin splits the fibrinogen to form fibrin. Fibrin fibers, you can see here, form a mesh over the wound, trapping the red blood cells and the platelets, and so the bleeding stops, and later on the clot hardens and becomes smaller. And then the new cells grow there to repair the particular injured site, and the enzyme plasmin is released to dissolve this particular clot. So friends, this is a general, what you can say, the process of blood clotting, the way it takes place. Now, what exactly is the role of heparin here? Please look on the screen. Now, here you can see on the screen that it shows a kind of a schematic here, right? So, it is like this. Heparin, it activates antithrombin 3. Now, अब ये जब antithrombin 3 एक्टिवेट हो जाता है तो वो प्रोथ्रोम्बिन को थ्रोम्बिन बनने से रोक देता है, यानी इट मेक्स इट इनएक्टिव. अगर प्रोथ्रोम्बिन का कन्वर्जन थ्रोम्बिन में नहीं हो पाया तो फाइब्रिनोजन का कन्वर्जन फाइब्रिन में होना नामुमकिन है. So there is no fibrin clot formation. So this is where it acts. It activates antithrombin 3 and this inactivates the prothrombin. Friends, you all know that the blood clotting process is basically a cascade kind of a reaction. Now, let us understand something more in details about heparin. Please remember, heparin is an anticoagulant. It decreases the clotting capacity of the blood. It prevents the formation of the harmful blood clots in the blood vessels. क्योंकि अगर blood vessels में clots बन जाते हैं तो blood circulation is altogether obstructed. पहले पूरा obstruction नहीं होगा, gradually ये चीज होते रहती है. So that is the reason why heparin को कई बार blood thinner कहा जाता है, जबकि वो गलत है. वो कभी blood thin होने का काम नहीं करता. आपने शायद सुना होगा that job is done by aspirin, ये ecosprin जो हम normally उसे कहते हैं. Okay, तो heparin क्या करता है? It prevents the formation of the blood clots in the veins. It prevents the existing blood clots from becoming larger. अब ये heparin बनाता कौन है? Heparin is synthesized in the liver, in the lungs and other tissues. Yes, it can be also produced in the lab. That is how we get the injections of the heparin, which are normally used up to break the blood clots, yeah, to control some kind of clot formation. It is used as a treatment of heart attack, some unstable angina अगर किसी को हो तो उसमें भी वो काम में आ सकता है. वो किडनी के डायलिसिस मशीन्स में भी यूज होता है, so as to prevent the blood clot formation. Okay, but हम हेपारिन ऐसे पेशेंट्स को नहीं दे सकते जिनमें प्लेटलेट्स की कमी हो या जिनमें ब्लीडिंग ऑलरेडी बहुत ज्यादा हो, अनकंट्रोल्ड हो, उन्हें हेपारिन कभी नहीं दिया जाता. नाउ प्लीज रिमेंबर, हेपारिन डज नॉट ब्रेक डाउन द क्लॉट्स. ओके, जो क्लॉट ऑलरेडी ब्लड के अंदर बन चुका है उसको ये तोड़ता नहीं है. वो तोड़ने का काम होता है टिश्यू प्लाज्मिनोजन एक्टिवेटर का, जिसका रेफरेंस अपने टेक्स्ट बुक में है in genetic engineering genomics as a application of the gene therapy. Okay, so it is not going to break down the already formed clots, but it prevents that clot to grow further. Please ये चीज याद रखिएगा, इसमें काफी difference है. So heparin is produced by the basophils and the mast cells. ये animal tissues में हम normally पढ़ते कि the mast cells and the basophils are involved in the production of heparin. Now, coming to another point, heparin is chemically a glycosaminoglycan. अब glycosaminoglycan क्या चीज है? तो glycosaminoglycan is nothing but you can say it is a kind of a mucopolysaccharide, or these are known for being negatively charged and they are polysaccharides. Okay, they are polysaccharides and they play a crucial role. मतलब overall glycosaminoglycans जो होते हैं, they have a very important role to play in the cell signaling process. मतलब ये in general glycosaminoglycans की बात है. अब जो ऑप्शन में जो रेफरेंस आता है, what is histamine? तो histamine you might have heard about, it is involved in the local immune response. Okay, it is involved in the inflammation response. अभी inflammatory response यानी आपको मालूम है inflammation is heat along with the pain and the swelling in a particular area. Normally it is done because as a part of the immune response to the foreign pathogens. Okay, so this is what is it. And histamine जो होता है उसका heparin से ideally यहाँ पर कोई भी लेना देना नहीं है. I now take you to the next question. It relates with the chapter that is nervous coordination, and the question is, assertion is, the outer ear, middle ear and the inner ear structures produce hearing, and the reason given is the organ of corti in the inner ear converts sound vibrations into impulses, and the options given are A, both assertion and reasons are true and reason is the correct explanation of the assertion. B, both assertion and reason are true but reason is not the correct explanation of A, I mean assertion. C, assertion is true but reason is false. And D, both assertion and reason are false. And the correct answer for this question is A. Both assertion and reason are true and reason is the correct explanation of A, that is assertion. Now let's understand this. Look on the screen please. Here you can get an idea about the structure of the ear जो आप शायद पढ़ चुके हो in the chapter that is nervous coordination. You can look on the screen here. This is the ear pinna. This forms the outer ear, that is the ear canal here. Then this part is going to be the middle ear, which has three bones here, malleus, incus and the stapes being the smallest bone in the human body, right? और इसके अंदर ये वाला जो area है, please आप pointer देखिएगा, this is nothing but the inner ear. Now inner ear is made up of three semicircular canals and the cochlea, and the cochlea is connected with the vestibular nerve, the facial nerve, or rather vestibulocochlear nerve, that is nothing but the auditory nerve, which is going to actually send this particular sensation to the brain, which will interpret it. Okay, now let us understand something ahead. look on the screen please. You will get to know the organ of Corti a bit more easily. Now, this part is the scala vestibuli. I hope you know that this is going to be the section of the cochlea. So this outer area is the scala vestibuli. This is the scala media. You can see this red particular membrane which is actually covering up the scala vestibuli and separating it from the scala media is the Resner's membrane. In the scala media we find the tectorial membrane. This below that we have the scala tympani जिसमें एक छोटा सा टनल जैसा एरिया है, वहां पर we find certain fibers. Then there are outer hair or nerve cells. There are also few other cells present and this is the basilar membrane. I hope you can recollect this. Now friends, let us understand this a bit better. The organ of Corti is an organ of the inner ear. अब ये कहाँ पर है? तो it is located within the cochlea and this undoubtedly it helps in auditory function. अब ये जो organ of Corti है, it has 3 rows of outer hair cells and 1 row of inner hair cells. Vibrations caused by the sound waves, they bend the cilia on these hair cells via an electromechanical force. अब ये जो hair cells है ये क्या करते हैं? They convert the mechanical energy into electrical energy which is transmitted to the central nervous system via the auditory nerve in order to facilitate the auditory function. अब जो sound waves होते हैं, they enter the ear via what? The auditory canal and they cause the vibration of the tympanic membrane. And the movement of the tympanic membrane, it causes subsequent vibrations in the ear ossicles. जो मैंने अभी आपको थोड़ी देर पहले जो bones दिखाए, that is the malleus, incus and the stapes, right? अब ये जो 3 bones है, 3 bones है middle ear के, they transfer this particular thing to the cochlea through the oval window. As the oval window will move, the waves will transfer to the perilymph fluid. किधर? तो scala tympani में. And then the scala vestibuli of the cochlea. So when the fluid moves through these structures, the basilar membrane that is located between the scala media and scala tympani, if you remember, I've just now shown it to you. It shifts to the tectorial membrane. Okay, I hope you understand. I can show this on the screen once again so that you understand it better. Friends, please look on the screen here once again. I repeat it. I said that the move of the tympanic membrane causes subsequent vibrations in the ear ossicles, that is the malleus, incus and the stapes, and this will be transmitted through the oval window into the cochlea. Now as the oval window moves, the waves transfer to the perilymph fluid inside the scala tympani. This is what is the scala tympani and the scala vestibuli. You can see this is the scala vestibuli. अब यहाँ पर जैसा ही फ्लूइड का मूवमेंट होता है तो द बेसिलार मेम्ब्रेन, दिस इज द बेसिलार मेम्ब्रेन, ओके, द बेसिलार मेम्ब्रेन दैट इज लोकेटेड बिटवीन, इट शिफ्ट्स टू द tectorial मेम्ब्रेन, यानी कि यहाँ पर ये इसके करीब आएगा बिकॉज ऑफ द मूवमेंट ऑफ दिस फ्लूइड एंड देन दिस विल हेल्प इन स्टिमुलेटिंग द ऑर्गन ऑफ Corti. ओके, अब ऑर्गन ऑफ Corti एग्जैक्टली किधर है? तो ये बेसिलार मेम्ब्रेन के यहाँ पर है, आप देख सकते हो. दिस इज व्हाट इज कलेक्टिवली कॉल्ड एज ऑफ Corti और ये बेसिलार मेम्ब्रेन है जिसके ऊपर ऑर्गन ऑफ Corti इज लोकेटेड. Okay, and the organ of Corti is composed of both the supporting cells and the hair cells, which are mechanosensory. We call them as mechanosensory cells. I hope you have understood this. I take you to the next question. The next question relates with the chapter that is human health and diseases. The question, that is the assertion, is AIDS occurs when HIV infection reduces the helper T cell population, and the reason given here is autoimmune disorders represent immune responses to self-antigen, and the options given are A. Both assertion and reason are true and reason is the correct explanation of the assertion. B. Assertion and reason are true but reason is not the correct explanation of the assertion. C. Assertion is true but reason is false. D. Assertion and reason are false. And the correct answer for this question is B. Assertion and reason are true but reason is not the correct explanation of the assertion. Now friends, please look on the screen. Here you can exactly understand what HIV does to the immune system. HIV, it attacks the T cell, T helper cells. You know what exactly in the earlier session, one of the question answer sessions of the challenging MCQs, I've already talked about the CD4 cells, so you can refer to that if you need to. Now once the T cell has been attacked by HIV, it invades the T cell. You can look on the screen here. ये HIV virus है, ये T cell के अंदर घुस रहा है, ये अंदर completely जा चुका है. And once it is inside the T cell, what it does is it makes its own copies inside, which we call them as the virons, right? ये छोटे छोटे चिल्ले पिल्ले वायरसेस है, इसके कॉपीज है, और जैसे इनका नंबर टी सेल में बढ़ जाता है तो टी सेल रप्चर होके ये सब के सब नए वायरसेस बाहर आ जाते हैं, so that they can infect many more host cells. This is what normally happens. अब ये क्यों होता है? क्योंकि हेल्पर टी सेल से ये एक्सपेक्टेड ही नहीं था. हेल्पर टी सेल इज एक्सपेक्टेड टू फाइट बैक, बट यहाँ पर HIV एग्जैक्टली उस हेल्पर टी सेल को ही अटैक कर लेता है. Now let us understand the reason. The reason given here, that is, I want you to know about the autoimmune disorders. Over 100 different types of autoimmune disorders have been noted till now. For example, you might have heard about thyroiditis. It is a Hashimoto's disease, Graves' disease. In case of bones, you might have heard about the rheumatoid arthritis, right? Yeah, polymyalgia rheumatica. This is myalgia बोल सकते हैं हम इसे. Muscles maybe it can have a polymyalgia kind of a condition. Skin per psoriasis, vitiligo, eczema, scleroderma, these are the things. In case of lungs, it is a fibromyalgia, a vagus granulomatosis. Nerves में peripheral neuropathy. GI tract में there are again diseases like the Crohn's disease, diabetes type 1. In case of blood, there is leukemia, lupus disease. ये सब के सब examples है autoimmune disorders के. Now friends, what is meant by autoimmune disease? An autoimmune disease is a condition in which our immune system mistakenly attacks our own body. But obviously आपके दिमाग में आएगा भला ऐसे होता है तो क्यों होता है? So ideal exact cause इसका अभी तक पता नहीं है, पर ऐसे कहा जाता है कि when microorganisms, maybe bacteria or viruses or certain drugs, they bring about some changes which confuses the immune system. So this may happen more often in the people who have genes that make them more prone to the autoimmune disorder. Okay, so this is the thing. I mean, exact reason definitely is not known. I take you to the next question. The next question relates with the chapter excretion and osmoregulation, and the assertion given is the production of concentrated urine requires an osmotic gradient in the kidney medulla, and the reason given is a counter current mechanism assists the formation of the osmotic gradient and the reabsorption of water. And the options given are A. Both assertion and reason are true and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. B. Both assertion and reason are true but reason is not the correct explanation of the assertion. C. Assertion is true but reason is false. And D. Both assertion and reason are false. And the correct answer for this question is both assertion and reason are true and reason is the correct explanation of the assertion. Now look on the screen here. You can see a nephron, the parts of the nephron. I will just hang on to the screen so that you can have a minute for yourself to revise up. I take it to the next. Now, what exactly is meant by this? Let us understand this. Friends, please concentrate on what I'm talking about. See, counter current mechanism, ये बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है एक्सक्रीशन चैप्टर में. ये एक ऐसा मैकेनिज्म है which is going to use some energy and create a concentration gradient. अब energy but obvious in the form of ATP. ये मैमेलियन ऑर्गन्स में स्पेशली यूरिन फॉर्मेशन में दिखाई देता है. Okay, now please remember counter current multiplication is different from counter current exchange. Okay, ये sound काफी similar होता है but ideally these are different mechanisms. Okay, now ये जो term है ये कहाँ से आया, क्या हुआ, exactly what is it? Please remember इक्विलिब्रियम जब हम कहते हैं यानी क्या होता है, काइंड ऑफ बैलेंस. ये बैलेंस होना काफी जरूरी होता है. पर जब कोई ऐसा सिस्टम हो जहां पर द इनफ्लो रन्स पैरेलल टू और काउंटर टू इन क्लोज प्रॉक्सिमिटी टू द आउटफ्लो फॉर सम डिस्टेंस, इन दैट केस वी कॉल दिस एज काउंटर करंट. ओके, अब उसके लिए क्या जरूरी होता है, तो दो ट्यूब्स पैरेलल होने जरूरी होते हैं. अब if you can look on the screen, you will get to know what I mean by this. This is the descending limb and this is the ascending limb, right? And you know ki this is the hairpin bend of the loop of Henle. I hope you recollect all this. Now let us understand the descending limb jo hai, that is this of the loop of Henle, is permeable to water but impermeable to salts. अब बहुत बार ये आप टेक्स्ट बुक में पढ़ लेते हो और आपके दिमाग में आता है कि हम जब डिफरेंसेस लिखते हैं कि डिसेंडिंग लिम्ब एंड असेंडिंग लिम्ब, वी ऑफन से डिसेंडिंग लिम्ब इज परमिएबल टू वाटर बट इम्परमिएबल टू सॉल्ट्स एंड असेंडिंग लिम्ब इज परमिएबल टू सॉल्ट्स बट इम्परमिएबल टू वाटर. बट ऑब्वियस दिमाग में आता है भला ऐसा क्यों, एंड इसका रीजन अपने टेक्स्ट बुक्स में कहीं पर भी नहीं दिया है. सो प्लीज ध्यान से सुनिएगा, दिस डिफरेंस क्यों है. तो ये जो डिसेंडिंग लिम्ब है, इट इज इम्पर्मिएबल टू सोल्यूट्स बट इट इज परमिएबल टू वाटर, एंड दिस इज बिकॉज ऑफ प्रेजेंस ऑफ एक्वापोरिन. एक्वापोरिन नाम का एक प्रोटीन होता है, ये डिसेंडिंग लिम्ब में मौजूद है और असेंडिंग लिम्ब में मौजूद नहीं है. ओके, सो एक्वापोरिन ये एक ट्रांसपोर्टर पोरिन है, प्रोटीन है अंदर. सो ट्रांसपोर्टर प्रोटीन कॉल्ड एज एक्वापोरिन is present in the descending limb but not present in the ascending limb. इसीलिए descending limb से आप देखिएगा यहाँ पर सब जगह पे आप देखोगे तो यहाँ पर you can see the movement of water outside. but यहाँ पर कहीं पर भी कोई भी salt बाहर जाते हुए नजर नहीं आता है. Okay, whereas ascending limb जो कि please look on the screen, यहाँ पर आप देखेंगे तो आपको समझेगा कि यहाँ पर कहीं पर भी पानी का मूवमेंट नहीं दिखाई देता है, यहाँ पर NaCl बाहर जाते हुए नजर आता है. एग्री. अब इसके आजू बाजू में क्या होता है फ्रेंड्स, ट्राई टू रिकलेक्ट. इसके आजू बाजू में होते हैं ब्लड वेसल्स. आपने शायद सुना रहेगा वासा रेक्टे, राइट. सो ये जो है ये एग्जैक्टली उसके ऑपोजिट इनका मूवमेंट चालू है. सो लुक ऑन दिस पार्ट ऑफ इट, दीज आर द वासा रेक्टे हियर. सो अब क्या हो रहा है देखिएगा आप लोग, यहाँ पर यहाँ से डिसेंडिंग लिम्ब से पानी बाहर गया तो वासा रेक्टे की वजह से यहाँ पर NaCl अंदर आ रहा है, पानी बाहर जा रहा है, NaCl आ रहा है, पानी बाहर जा रहा है, NaCl आ रहा है, राइट. एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दिस NaCl आने की वजह से अब यहाँ पर सोल्यूट कॉन्सेंट्रेशन बिकम्स क्वाइट हाई, एंड देन व्हेन इट कम्स ओवर हियर सोल्यूट कॉन्सेंट्रेशन हाई होने की वजह से यहाँ पर आजू बाजू में अगर आप देखेंगे तो बाहर जो फ्लूइड है यहाँ पर वाटर का कॉन्सेंट्रेशन ज्यादा हो जाता है. सो वाटर स्टार्ट्स एंटरिंग इन एंड द NaCl स्टार्ट्स गेटिंग आउट. सो इज इट नॉट दैट द मूवमेंट हियर इज एग्जैक्टली ऑपोजिट टू ईच अदर, right? I hope you have understood this, and this is what is meant by the counter current mechanism. Friends, let's go to the next question relates with the chapter genes, and the question is, the assertion is heterochromatin is genetically active, and the reason given is, in contrast to heterochromatin, euchromatin is inactive. Now let us understand the options. A option says both assertion and reason are true and reason is the correct explanation of the assertion. B. Both assertion and reason are true, but reason is not the correct explanation of the assertion. C. Assertion is true, but reason is false. And D. Both assertion and reason are false. And your answer is D. See, heterochromatin जो होता है वो genetically inactive होता है और euchromatin जो होता है वो genetically active होता है. Please look on the screen. Here you can see the comparison given between heterochromatin and the euchromatin. I would especially like to mention one viewer who had asked me something about chromomeres. एक क्रोमोसोम का वीडियो मैंने डाला था, शायद आपने देखा होगा. तो उसमें एक व्यूअर ने एक बहुत अच्छा सवाल पूछा है कि क्रोमोमियर हैज टू बी ट्रांसक्रिप्शनली एक्टिव. प्लीज रिमेंबर, chromomere is the area which has a gene, and gene can be active, it can be inactive. It can be made active when the body demands so. Okay, now look on the screen here. Heterochromatin DNA is generally not very active. In interphase, this type of chromatin, यानी कि heterochromatin, is compact and it is long stretches of repeat sequences called as the satellite DNA. Please remember friends, satellite DNA is nothing but the VNTRs, the variable number of tandem repeats. Now, euchromatin जो होता है वो generally ज़्यादा active होता है and in interphase they are not generally condensed. Look on this, you can see a chromosome with the two sister chromatids. This is the telomere region which has heterochromatin, and the centromere wala jo area, this is also rich in heterochromatin. That is how it has been shown here. Hope you have understood this. Thank you so much, and please like, subscribe and hit the bell icon, and please share it with as many friends as possible so that I can reach many more students.